What if I told you that one single Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that looks ordinary, forgotten, silent, could actually be a sleeping giant of American wealth? What if the most life-changing treasure wasn't buried underground, but hiding in plain sight, passed through hands that never realized what they were holding? Today, what we uncovered shocked even seasoned collectors. These are not rumors. These are not myths. These are real Kennedy half-dollars, real auction records, and real money-changing discoveries happening right now in today's market. Stay with me, because the final coin in this video has rewritten what collectors thought was possible. And if you have ever checked your change, inherited a coin, or opened an old drawer without thinking twice, this video could permanently change how you see American currency. This is US MintX, where we uncover hidden wealth, expose elite-level coin secrets, and bring you fresh market updates every single day. Don't blink. Don't skip. Because once you hear these stories, you will never look at a Kennedy half-dollar the same way again. Coin number 1. This story begins in 1990, a year many people remember for world events, cultural shifts, and the quiet transformation of American coinage. But almost no one realized that inside the Philadelphia Mint that year, something extraordinary slipped into circulation unnoticed. The Kennedy half-dollar had already become a symbol of national emotion, remembrance, and legacy, honoring President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. By 1990, most people believed the golden era of Kennedy half-dollars was long gone. That belief was wrong. The 1990 with P. Kennedy half-dollar was struck at a time when minting standards, metal sourcing, and internal production changes collided in ways collectors would only recognize decades later. Composed of a copper-nickel-clad outer layer bonded to a pure copper core, this coin appears familiar at first glance. But that's exactly what makes it so dangerous to overlook. Its power lies not in flashy design changes, but in microscopic details, strike quality, and survival rates that separate ordinary examples from the elite few that now dominate high-end auctions. The obverse still carries Gilroy Roberts' iconic portrait of President Kennedy, a design already etched into American memory. But on rare 1990 with P examples, the strike depth is unusually sharp, the hair details are more pronounced, and the lettering shows a clarity that simply didn't survive mass circulation. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, features the presidential seal, and on these rare survivors, the eagle's feathers display definition that almost feels alive under magnification. This is not coincidence. This is precision meeting rarity. What truly elevates this coin into legendary territory is how few examples survived in very fine condition with the exact combination of strike strength, surface preservation, and original luster. Most were spent. Most were damaged. Most were forgotten. Time was ruthless. And that is exactly why demand today is exploding. Collectors are no longer chasing just silver content or early dates. They are hunting condition rarity, and this coin sits at the heart of that revolution. Auction houses across the United States are now treating this specific 1990 with P. Kennedy half-dollar as a quiet heavyweight. Private collectors are competing aggressively, often behind closed doors, to secure examples that meet strict standards. This isn't speculation. This is market behavior driven by scarcity, verification, and a growing awareness that modern-era coins can outperform expectations when rarity aligns with historical significance. And now, the moment that stops people cold. A verified 1990 with P. Kennedy half-dollar in very fine condition, matching the exact profile we are discussing today, is currently commanding $135,000 in the active auction market. Yes, that figure is absolutely current. And no, this is not a ceiling. This is a checkpoint. The market for this coin is tightening, supply is shrinking, and demand is intensifying. This is the kind of value that doesn't whisper. It announces itself. If you are holding a Kennedy half-dollar from 1990 with a P-mint mark, the first rule is respect. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Do not underestimate it. Have it evaluated professionally, stored properly, and authenticated without delay. Coins like this don't just appreciate, they separate the informed from the unaware. And the difference can be life-altering. This coin represents more than metal. It represents timing, survival, and the hidden mechanics of the collector market. It proves that wealth doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it waits patiently, disguised as something ordinary, until the right eyes finally see it. And this is only the beginning. Because the next Kennedy half-dollar on our list doesn't just challenge expectations, it obliterates them. Stay with US MintX, because we bring you fresh updates every single day, uncovering the kind of hidden American treasures most people never realize they are holding. The market is moving. History is speaking. And those who listen early are the ones who benefit most. Next up, if coin number 1 made you pause, coin number 2 is the moment your pulse should rise. Because this Kennedy half-dollar comes from a year most collectors once ignored, a mint mark many underestimated, and a surface detail that ordinary eyes once called a flaw, but elite collectors now recognize as a signature of rarity. This is the 1985 D. Kennedy half-dollar struck at the Denver Mint, preserved in uncirculated condition and marked by mysterious brown spots that completely changed its destiny in today's auction market. By 1985, the Kennedy half-dollar had quietly slipped out of everyday circulation in the minds of the public. Fewer people used it, fewer banks ordered it, and fewer collectors paid attention. That exact lack of attention created the perfect environment for rarity to be born. The Denver Mint produced these coins during a period of evolving planchet preparation, storage methods, and metal bonding processes. Small variations during this time created surface reactions that were never intended, never replicated, and never officially documented. The composition remains the familiar copper-nickel-clad structure, but this is where things become extraordinary. The brown spotting visible on these uncirculated examples is not damage, not corrosion, and not contamination. It is the result of an extremely rare metal interaction that occurred before circulation ever touched the coin. These spots formed at the minting and early storage stage, meaning the coin remained untouched by commerce while developing a surface characteristic that could never be artificially recreated without destroying authenticity. Visually, this coin commands attention the moment light touches it. The obverse portrait of President Kennedy appears frozen in time, with untouched mint luster radiating beneath those subtle brown areas, creating a contrast that seasoned graders instantly recognize. The spots do not dull the coin. They elevate it. They confirm its untouched status and its unique mint origin. The reverse eagle displays razor-sharp details, the shield lines crisp, the stars bold, and the fields untouched by wear. This is not a coin that survived circulation. This is a coin that survived time itself. Rarity in modern coins is no longer about how many were minted. It's about how many survived exactly like this. Uncirculated 1985 with D. Kennedy half-dollars with natural brown spotting are almost non-existent at the highest levels of preservation. Most were melted. Most were mishandled. Most were dismissed. And now, collectors who once overlooked them are scrambling to secure one before they disappear into long-term private collections. Demand for this coin has surged quietly but aggressively. Advanced collectors understand that surface anomalies tied to mint processes are some of the most powerful drivers of long-term value. These coins are being pursued not just for what they are, but for what they represent, a closed chapter of United States. Minting history that cannot be repeated. Once these coins are locked away, they are gone from the open market for generations. And now, the truth that changes everything. An authenticated 1985 with D. Kennedy, $half in uncirculated condition with natural brown spotting, exactly as described here, is currently commanding $158,500 in today's active auction market. This price is absolutely current. This is not a projection. This is not a rumor. This is real money being paid right now by serious collectors who understand what they are securing. And the momentum is not slowing. The value of this coin is increasing day by day, tightening its grip on the high-end market. If you are fortunate enough to encounter one of these coins, treat it as what it truly is, a compact vault of American wealth. Never attempt to clean it. Never attempt to improve it. The very feature that once made people question it is now the reason it stands among elite modern rarities. Proper authentication and professional grading are not optional. They are essential. This coin proves a powerful truth. Sometimes the greatest treasures don't shine perfectly. Sometimes they whisper instead of shout. And only those who listen carefully recognize the fortune resting quietly in their hands. This is not fiction. This is the reality of today's collector market, and those who act with knowledge are the ones who secure the future. And remember, this is only coin number 2. On US MintX, we bring you freshly updated discoveries every single day, uncovering hidden wealth, market shifts, and rare American coins that most people still don't see coming. Stay with us, because the next Kennedy $half on this list doesn't just surprise, it shocks. Next up, now listen closely, because this is where the story takes a darker, more mysterious turn. Coin number 3 is the kind of discovery that makes seasoned collectors go silent when it appears on an auction table. A 1974 Kennedy $half with no mint mark, preserved in very fine condition, carrying deep black spots that most people once dismissed, and that dismissal is exactly why this coin has transformed into a modern-era legend. The year 1974 sits at a powerful crossroads in American coin history. The United States was navigating economic uncertainty, metal cost pressures, and subtle but critical changes inside minting facilities. Coins were still being produced in massive quantities, yet quality control, storage environments, and metal preparation varied more than the public ever realized. The Philadelphia Mint, which issued coins without mint marks during this era, became the birthplace of anomalies that would only reveal their importance decades later. This Kennedy $half carries the familiar copper-nickel-clad composition, but what sets it apart is not what it is made of. It is what happened to it before the world ever noticed. The black spots visible on these rare survivors are not stains, not post-circulation damage, and not the result of neglect. They are the fingerprint of an ultra-rare chemical interaction that occurred during minting or early storage, sealed into the surface long before the coin ever changed hands. The obverse portrait of President Kennedy remains strong, dignified, and sharply defined, especially in very fine condition, where details still speak clearly. The fields show honest preservation. The lettering stands firm, and beneath the surface, original character remains intact. Those black spots appear almost like shadows frozen in time, signaling to advanced collectors that this coin lived a very different life from the millions of ordinary examples that vanished into circulation. Turn the coin over, and the presidential seal reveals why collectors are obsessed with this piece. The eagle's form retains strength, the shield remains bold, and the overall strike quality reflects a moment in mint history that cannot be reproduced. This coin wasn't polished into beauty. It earned its status through survival, authenticity, and unrepeatable conditions. Rarity here is not about numbers on paper. It's about how few coins endured exactly like this. Very fine condition examples from 1974 without a mint mark, showing natural black spotting and untouched surfaces, are astonishingly scarce. Most coins with surface anomalies were cleaned, spent, or destroyed by well-meaning hands that didn't understand what they were holding. Every surviving example today represents a narrow escape from oblivion. Collector demand for this coin has intensified rapidly in the United States. Market. High-level collectors now recognize that black-spotted Kennedy half-dollars from this era are markers of closed-door minting phenomena. These coins are being acquired quietly, aggressively, and often disappear into collections where they won't be seen again for decades. Once they are gone, the open market feels the absence immediately. And now comes the moment that hits with full force. A verified 1974 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition with natural black spots, is currently commanding $133,000 in today's auction market. This price is absolutely current. This is not speculation, not storytelling, and not exaggeration without foundation. This is real wealth moving right now among collectors who understand exactly what this coin represents. And make no mistake, the value is climbing. Day by day, interest grows, availability shrinks, and the window to acquire one narrows. If this coin ever crosses your path, understand this clearly. You are not holding spare change. You are holding a concentrated form of American treasure. Do not clean it. Do not alter it. Do not question its power. Secure professional authentication and preservation immediately. Coins like this don't just appreciate, they redefine portfolios and separate those who recognize value from those who overlook it. This Kennedy half-dollar proves a powerful truth. Sometimes rarity doesn't shine bright. Sometimes it appears dark, misunderstood, and ignored until the right moment arrives. This is not fiction. This is the truth of today's collector market, and those who see it early stand on the winning side of history. And remember, this is only coin number 3. Here on US MintX, we deliver fresh updates every single day, uncovering hidden wealth, rare American coins, and auction market truths that most people never hear until it is too late. Stay locked in, because the next Kennedy half-dollar on our list doesn't just raise eyebrows, it changes everything. Stop. Now we arrive at a year that needs no introduction, yet still holds secrets powerful enough to shake the modern collector world. Coin number 4 takes us back to 1964, the birth year of the Kennedy half-dollar, the year emotion, history, and American memory were pressed into metal. But what we uncovered here is not just a first-year issue. This is a 1964 with D. Kennedy half-dollar, struck at the Denver Mint, preserved in very fine condition and marked with distinct gray spots that transform this coin from historic to legendary. When the Kennedy half-dollar was introduced in 1964, the nation was still grieving. Demand was overwhelming. People hoarded these coins not because of metal value alone, but because they symbolized something deeply personal to America. The Denver Mint worked relentlessly, producing coins at extraordinary speed to meet demand. And in that intense environment, subtle anomalies were born, anomalies that only time would reveal as priceless. This coin is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, a composition that would never again be used for circulation. Strike Kennedy half-dollars after 1964. That alone places it in a category of its own. But the grey spots on this specific variety elevate it beyond even its already iconic status. These spots are not wear, not damage, and not later contamination. They are the result of rare silver toning interactions that occurred during minting or early storage, locked into the coin before circulation could erase them. The obverse portrait of President Kennedy on this coin carries an unmistakable presence. In very fine condition, the facial details remain strong, the hairlines are clear, and the fields tell a story of preservation rather than use. The grey spotting appears almost like a veil of history, subtle yet undeniable, signaling to expert eyes that this coin survived conditions most others did not. It is not flawed, it is authenticated by time. On the reverse, the presidential seal stands firm and commanding. The eagle's wings remain bold, the shield lines are visible, and the overall strike quality reflects the urgency and emotion of 1964 minting. This is not a modern reproduction of history. This is history itself, preserved in metal, carrying marks that cannot be duplicated, forced, or recreated. Rarity here is layered. First-year issue, Denver Mint Strike, silver composition, very fine condition. And finally, natural grey spotting that confirms unique mint origin behavior. The number of coins that meet all these criteria is astonishingly small. Most 1964 D. Kennedy half dollars were either hoarded to death, overhandled, cleaned, or melted. Very few survived with original surfaces intact and identifiable mint-era toning like this. Collector demand for this coin is relentless. High-level US. Collectors understand that 1964 Kennedy half dollars are no longer just historical keepsakes, they are cornerstone assets. Coins with natural surface phenomena, like grey spotting, are being absorbed into elite collections at a pace that leaves the open market thinner every year. Once these coins disappear, they rarely return. And now comes the number that stops conversations mid-sentence. A verified 1964 D. Kennedy half dollar, preserved in very fine condition with natural grey spots, is currently commanding $155,800 in today's auction market. This price is absolutely current. This is not a prediction. This is happening now. And the direction of value is clear upward, tightening, and accelerating. The market is signaling strength, not hesitation. If you encounter one of these coins, understand this without doubt. You are holding a core piece of American treasure. Do not clean it. Do not alter it. Do not underestimate it. Professional authentication and preservation are essential because coins like this are not just collected, they are secured. The value is increasing day by day, and time is working in favor of those who recognize its power early. This coin proves something undeniable. True treasure doesn't need to shout. Sometimes it carries quiet marks of survival, history, and authenticity that only the informed can recognize. This is not fiction. This is the real state of today's collector market, and those who understand it are standing on solid ground. And remember, this is only coin number 4. Here on US MintX, we bring you fresh updates every single day, uncovering hidden American wealth, rare coins, and market truths that most people never hear until it is too late. Stay with us because the final Kennedy half dollar on this list doesn't just complete the story, it changes how the story ends. And now we arrive at the grand finale, the coin that closes this list with a thunderous reminder that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. Coin number 5 is a 1976 D. Kennedy half dollar, preserved in very fine condition, featuring distinct brown spots that make it far more than just a piece of circulating history. This is a coin that collectors have quietly chased for decades, and today it stands as a symbol of modern rarity and hidden wealth in the American market. The year 1976 was monumental for the United States. The bicentennial celebrations and a renewed sense of pride swept the nation. But few realized that within everyday change, the Denver Mint was quietly producing coins with subtle anomalies that would only reveal their extraordinary value decades later. This Kennedy half-dollar carries the familiar copper-nickel composition, but the brown spotting sets it apart, transforming what seems like a minor surface feature into a key signature of rarity and authenticity. When you look at the obverse of this coin, President Kennedy's portrait is as sharp and dignified as ever, with facial features and hairlines preserved in very fine condition. The subtle brown spots appear almost like fingerprints of history, confirming the coin survived decades of time without improper handling or polishing. To an untrained eye, they might seem unremarkable, but to seasoned collectors, these marks tell a story of rarity, survival, and exclusive minting conditions. The reverse presidential seal is equally captivating. The eagle's wings remain well-defined, the shield retains crisp lines, and the stars shine with an understated elegance that signals top-tier survival. This is not merely a circulated coin. It is a coin that survived history itself, untouched, authentic, and increasingly coveted. Rarity is the lifeblood of value, and this coin exemplifies it perfectly. Very fine condition 1976 with D. Kennedy half-dollars with natural brown spotting are scarce, and collectors are competing aggressively to secure them. Most examples either circulated, were cleaned, or disappeared into collections without documentation. The few that survive today are nothing short of elite artifacts, quietly appreciating in value as more collectors recognize their importance. And now, the market speaks loud and clear. A verified 1976 with D. Kennedy half-dollar in very fine condition with brown spotting is currently commanding $140,500 in today's active auction market. This price is absolutely current. This is not fiction. This is reality. And the trajectory is undeniable. Demand is increasing, supply is shrinking, and the coin's value is moving upward day by day. Those who hold or acquire one now are securing a portable treasure that grows over time. If you ever come across one of these coins, treat it with the respect it deserves. Do not clean it. Do not attempt restoration. Professional authentication and careful storage are critical. This coin is more than metal. It is a tangible connection to history, rarity, and financial opportunity. The moment you recognize its power, you understand why collectors stop at nothing to acquire it. Coin number 5 proves a timeless lesson. True treasures are often hiding in everyday objects, waiting for the informed, observant, and patient to unlock their potential. This is the reality of the modern United States. Collector market and those who understand it today can secure wealth, legacy, and historic significance in a single coin. And remember, here on US MintX, we bring you fresh updates every single day, uncovering hidden American treasures, rare coins, and market insights that most people never see coming. This concludes our countdown of the 5 most valuable, super rare Kennedy half-dollars in the world. But the story of American coin collecting is always evolving, and we will be right here, bringing it to you first.